We thank their families. We thank their parents for lighting in them a spark that has manifested itself in extraordinary generosity and hard work on behalf of others. I now want to introduce a young lady. She's an extraordinary young lady, and she is what we call a survivor. She is a survivor with a lot of courage, and herself a spark for others, an example for others of courage, tenacity, and a sense of optimism of prevailing over a health affliction. She's a sophomore at Leonardtown High School. She's also a soccer player. I asked her to speak earlier. Now I'm going to introduce you now. You need to speak now. No saying no to me. This morning I gave her the microphone. She said, no, I don't want to speak. So she didn't speak this morning. But I am pleased to have the opportunity to introduce her today. And I mentioned courage. She's a soccer player. She had a port for chemotherapy. And she said, no, I won't be able to play soccer with my port. So she endured the shots that she had to take in lieu of the port. That's how committed this young woman is. What a stark and wonderful example of survival, of the willingness to overcome a threat to her health. We are so pleased to have Claire Bronhead here with us today. She urged her National Honor Society from their snowball tournament and their dodgeball tournament to donate all of their proceeds to the LLS cause. So, Claire, we are very proud of you, and we want to come up and hear you, or we want you to come up and hear you speak. And like Sarah, I will say, you pay attention to Claire.
Thank you, Congressman Hoyer. First, I would like to thank Team Fly for a Cure for inviting me to be a part of this life-changing campaign. It has been very emotional sharing my journey with the public and reliving a time that was a painful challenge to get through. But I am very grateful that I was given the chance to, because it is very important to raise awareness about cancer and the need for better funding for its cure. It can happen to anyone. I was a healthy 9-year-old kid until I wasn't. I wasn't at risk genetically. I live in a nice area. I was active and playing travel soccer. There is no rhyme or reason to who will be affected. It wasn't just myself that was affected. It was my family and friends that were affected as well. That is why it's so important to fund the organizations like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society that are doing the research to better treat and ultimately end cancer. Going through chemo changed my life. It was hard and made me sick to where it was unbearable. I missed school. I went through many surgeries, procedures, and more needles than I ever thought I would have in my whole life. Cancer and its treatment beat me down and forced me to be strong and to pick myself back up and push through. To keep attending school, even if it was with a tutor. To keep playing soccer, even if it was only for a few minutes at a time. And to keep my faith, even when things seemed overwhelming. At my lowest point, I was covered from head to toe with multiple horrible rashes. I looked like a skeleton, and I barely had enough energy to walk one full lap around the LHS track at Relay for Life. But I did not quit. I want people who are going through cancer treatment or have a family member going through it to know you can do it, and to have that reassurance that people aren't going to stop fighting for a cure until there is one. It's tough, but you take one day at a time. The days turn into weeks, and then years, and God willing, you can get through it. But my biggest advice is to not let cancer take over you. You have the fight in you. You have the will to beat it. You know you can beat it. So live your life, and don't let it affect you unless you are becoming stronger and better. Live life and spend time with family and friends, and concentrate on the good instead of the bad. Don't be afraid to do things because of the cancer, because once you are through it, you don't want to look back and feel like you lost time. Lastly, thank you for coming out today. It's overwhelming to see such amazing support for such an important cause.
Wonderful.